On the subject of Faun, the fan fiction, dude, oh my gosh. Okay, so this one was absolutely insanity. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll start from the beginning. So what happens is there's a monster in the Everfree. You start from the monster's perspective, and it's fighting off timberwolves, and it's very brutish, and it kind of alludes to the fact that it might be human-ish, but it's very like deformed and stuff. Oh my gosh, this story. So, so what happens is Lyra and Bonbon are talking about having a kid, and Bonbon's like, we could talk to Princess Twilight about it. And Lyra kind of freaks out for a second, but then she's like, yeah, let's go to talk to Princess Twilight, since like maybe she could do a spell or something. So then Fluttershy notices that no pets are at her place, and she goes to the forest because the thing got hurt, and it's kind of close to her home, and she screams when she finds him. And she goes to Twilight's home, and she talks to her about it, and she's like, can you come to my cottage? Because there's a monster there and I don't really know what it is. So they go back, and Twilight is absolutely terrified of it. It's really described as a horrifying, absolute monstrosity, abnormal thing. And Twilight and Fluttershy talk about it for a second, and then it wakes up and it like runs out. And it switches back to its perspective, and it's looking into pony homes and stuff, and it's really nice. It's really a nice, kind being. And what happens is before it goes decides to go back to the Everfree, it goes and it looks inside Lyra and Bonbon's house, and it recognizes like Lyra a lot, and Lyra sees it and starts screaming like a mad woman, and she passes out, and Bonbon freaks out, and the creature goes back into the Everfree. So what happens is Twilight and Fluttershy go to Lyra and Bonbon's house, and they talk. And Twilight goes into Lyra's mind because she's asleep. She goes into her dreams, and in Lyra's dreams, she's remembering the past. So she met like a human dude, and she sleeps with him, and she gets pregnant, and the human dude is like, I have to go to Canterlot to speak to the princess or whatever. So like that's before she gets pregnant. Like he doesn't think anything's gonna happen if they sleep together. They kind of fall in love. So what happens is Lyra gets pregnant, and she freaks out, and she has like what's essentially a human pony hybrid monster being, and it's the creature or whatever. And this story got really sad. Like it just got really sad. Fluttershy's the real MVP. What happens is Lyra tells the story, and like Twilight is like, you have to make this right. You have to do something. And like she turns to tell Fluttershy something, but Fluttershy's gone. Fluttershy already went after the child, and she's like trying to find him because she's like, he's kind and he may be scary or whatever, but he's still alive, and he's still something. So when she goes to try and find him, she gets attacked by timberwolves, and he protects her. He fights off a bunch of them, and he's protecting her and protecting her and protecting her, but there's too many, and they really mess him up. And it gets sad. And what happens is he gets too hurt. He gets mortally wounded, and he's bleeding to death. And Fluttershy is like crying, and she's like Twilight. She's like, please go back to my cottage or whatever. Like she's like, above my sink, blah blah blah. Like obviously some sort of supplies that can help. And Twilight's like, of course, and she teleports away. And the child is like, reaching out for Lyra, and Lyra's like cowering away, and Fluttershy just goes nuts. She's like super super mad. She's like, "How dare you call yourself a pony?" She's like, "How dare you? You're." She's like, he's your son, and you won't even look at him. You won't even say anything. And like Lyra's like freaking out, and she won't say anything. And Fluttershy's just like super mad. Like it's like she's just really really mad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Fluttershy, punch her in the face, please, because it is her child. And like, what the heck? And what ends up happening is the child, because it hasn't really said anything or talked or whatever, it looks at Lyra, and it's like, mama. And like he dies, and like Fluttershy just like she's like heartbroken. Twilight teleports back, and like she like realizes that she was too late. And Fluttershy like wipes the blood off of her coat, because she was trying to help. And she just looks at Twilight, and she's like, Twilight, I'm gonna leave, because if I don't, I'm gonna say something I would definitely regret. And like it says that like as she's leaving, she's shaking. And I feel really bad for Fluttershy, because she probably went home and cried. Like, so anyways, uh uh Lyra Lyra is like, can you send us home, Twilight? Her and Bonbon. She's like, we need, like, I really need to think about this or whatever. So Twilight goes to send them home, and Bonbon's like, just her. She's like, I really need time to think. And like Lyra's like, Bonbon, and like in the middle of saying that, Twilight teleports her home or whatever. And as Bonbon goes to leave, Twilight is like, Bonbon, as the princess of friendship, I just ask you to please treat her. Please, please, just consider what you're gonna say and stuff. Like, as the princess of friendship, try to be kind. Like, rash decision is how everything got to here or whatever. And Bonbon is like, of course. She's like, of course I will. And Bonbon leaves. So then Twilight like reflects on him and stuff, and it's really sad, because she's like, maybe his life wasn't so bad. He was only 10, but I guess since he was a human horse hybrid type being, it kind of like his age was like kind of all over the place. And she's like, she digs a hole or whatever, and she buries him in the Everfree. And then she's like, I'll have to ask. She's like, I'll ask Princess Celestia about a human going there or whatever. So she sends a letter to Princess Celestia and stuff, and Celestia writes back, and she's like, I did encounter a human 10 years ago, and he was like very delirious and sick. She's like, unfortunately he passed away a few days after coming to Canterlot. And she's like, I'll send his belongings back to you. Maybe maybe the pony that he became friends with would want them or whatever. And that's essentially the end. I'm like absolutely blown away that that was the end of the story. Like I can't believe it finished there, because like we got Lyra and Bonbon still at odds with each other. I'd assume there's there's a lot to deal with there for Bonbon. And it was just, it wasn't it wasn't sweet. It was just sad, like a sad story. I it made me laugh because they named the human, not the child, but the human that slept with Lyra, Anon, like anonymous, like the, oh, this is, and haha, funny joke. Uh, it was, it was a roller coaster of emotions. It was like, okay, it's a monster. What's gonna murder all the ponies in Ponyville? And then it was like, oh, Fluttershy screamed, maybe she's dead. And then it was like, oh no, he was nice, so I guess that makes sense that they're friends. And then it was like, okay, where's this story going? Like, I'm so confused. And then like it sees Lyra and stuff, and I was like, is this Lyra and Bonbon's like illegitimate magical child that Twilight casted a spell, and like, since it's like going against the natural order of things, like it created a monster? And then it did the like Anon sleeping with Lyra thing, and I was just like, okay, this is getting weird. But then it got really good, like because it was sad. Like as soon as like Fluttershy was like super caring for the child and stuff. And then I was really, really, really disappointed because I really felt like it could have kept going and it just ended abruptly. I don't I don't know how this keeps happening to me with these stories that are really good. For example, yesterday I listened to one called "Too Far," uh, a bullying story about Diamond Tiara, and it ended on like the same type of thing. Discord just laughed, and it's like, what happened after that? I want to know. These are not the end of the story, guys. Why do these stories keep ending abruptly? But yeah, this story was really good. I I I'm gonna have to put it not at third. It was originally going to go at third. It was gonna go Tough Little Pony, and then Sunny Skies All Day Long, and then this one, Faun. But the ending, all of her scarf fluttered in the absence of wind, was good. The beginning was good, the middle was good, the end was good. I was completely satisfied with the ending of that story. And with this one, I have to kind of give it a little bit less because the ending made me I wanted more and there was no more. It disappointed me, I guess. So I'm going to have to give it probably 4 stars out of 5 stars and say it was great. It was great. It could have been better if he ended on a strong note, but 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it.